The time is 6 o'clock. I call this meeting to order. Could we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please keep standing for a bit. We're going to have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. You may be seated. Next on our agenda, we have open forum. It is? It's not.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Asaiz. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Thank you very much. I'm just going to read a statement as it just explains pretty much the ground rules. The next item on the agenda is a public comment. Before we begin, I will remind our audience, members of the board's procedures for handling public comment. The public comment portion of our meeting is available to members of the public who wish to address an agenda item to be considered by the board on tonight's agenda. Anyone who wants to speak during public comment must sign in prior to the start of the meeting and list the agenda item they want to discuss. Each public comment speaker will be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes to address the board. However, any public testimony speaker who requires a translator will receive up to 6 minutes to address the board. The public comment portion of the meeting will allow all speakers who have signed up before the start of the meeting to address the board regarding an item on tonight's agenda. Please keep your comments or criticism civil and courteous. Please also avoid using profanity and refrain from making personal attacks on others during your opportunity to speak. Last, we ask that you do not discuss students who are not your own child. If a speaker is seeking board a resolution of a specific complaint, that concern should be addressed through the district's grievance process. District policy DGBA has been established for addressing employer complaints. Policy FNG is the avenue for filing parent complaints, and policy GF addresses community members' complaints. Grievances forms can be obtained at any campus administration office or in central administration office. Thank you. Our first speaker is Ms. Alma de la Garza. Thank you.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Asaiz. My name is Alma de la Garza, Donna TSTA President. First and most important tonight is the celebration of our Donna ISD School Board. We have humbly presented a gift for each board member on behalf of the nearly 800 members we represent from Donna ISD. We appreciate your continued dedication to our district and to this community. It is of great charge that you have taken and know that many times decisions are not simple. We appreciate your consideration of employment matters and understanding that ultimately it does not take a village to educate the whole child. Thank you for your service and continue to plant and sow good results. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have the board recognition. Mr. Superintendent.
Thank you, Ms. Watts, and thank you, board members. First, this is, as you know, January is our board recognitions month, but we all know that our board members should be recognized every day, every month, the entire school year, because without their support and help, obviously, we cannot get anything done. So please join me to really recognize and thank our board members for their hearts, for their work and support to our community, our district, and our students. Thank you, board members. I want to also thank our staff, our parents, our community, our principals, our students, for everybody who really took the time to come here tonight, but also some of them took the time to decorate, some of them took the time to put things together. I mean, I'm amazed of the quality of the work and the effort and everything that all our staff, our parents, our students, everybody who contributed, I guess, did. So thank you so much for really sharing your love and our appreciation to our board members. But let's start this appreciation and this event by really listening to our wonderful and most talented students we have here. We have Donna North and Donna High Mariachi students who are coming here to also share their love and appreciation to our board members. So let's start with them.
Thank you, sir.
Se bañan y se componen y sienten descoloridas. Me gustan las tragedias, borrachas y presumidas. Se bañan y se componen y siempre descoloridas. Mariquita mi alma, yo te lo decía, que tarde o temprano mi vida había que ser mía. Mariquita mi alma, yo te lo decía, que tarde o temprano mi vida había que ser mía. De mi vida, arriba y arriba cantero, cada agua escondida donde se van a bañarse igual, cerca de mi vida. Ay, sí, sí, ay, no, no, ay, sí, sí, ay, no, no, ay, sí, ay, no, ay, sí, ay, no, de veras. que te dije se te olvidó, al cabo sí, al cabo no. De mi vida, dime quién te bautizó, quién te puso, si igual tengo para que te cante yo. Si igual tengo de mi vida, dime quién te bautizó, quién te puso, si igual tengo para que te cante yo. Ay, sí, sí, ay, no, no. Ay, sí, sí, ay, no, no. Ay, sí, ay, no. Ay, sí, ay, no, de veras, porque te dije se te olvidó, al cabo sí, al cabo no. Ay, ay, ay.
Thank you to our Donna High School students as well as our instructors and teachers. Thank you for the hard work. Very talented. Great job. Thank you. I think Donna North is coming next, our board members and community members. Yep. Here we go. He's a first year instructor.
Oh, this guy?
Very sweet.
El carretero se va, ya se va para desayunar. El carretero no va, porque le falta la mula. El carretero se va, ya se va para desayunar. El carretero no va, porque le falta la mula. Señor carretero, te vengo a avisar que sus animales te llevan a ahogar. Unos en la arena, otros en la mar. Señor carretero, le vengo a avisar. Señor carretero, le vengo a avisar.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to our students and our teachers for really a great job. Very, very excellent song. Thank you, guys.
Good evening, President of the Board, board members, staff, and community members. We recently visited a couple of classrooms where students were asked questions about what a school or the role of a school board. Not one was aware of what they did, and quite frankly, it was no surprise. Few people fully understand the scope of a school board member's responsibilities, but there are many good reasons why each of us should and why we should care a lot. These few people who sit in front of us today are unseen decision makers in our children's schooling. They establish a clear vision and high expectations for a quality education that supports strong student outcomes. They implement guidelines and policies for transforming their vision into reality. They adopt and oversee the annual budget, and they listen to and respond to community concerns and explain the district's priorities to the public. In summary, they empower the superintendent and district administrators to manage the schools, the teachers to effectively teach, and the students to be supported in a thriving learning environment. Every action is carefully considered with the students' best interests in mind. Here in Donna, we are proud to have a collective group serving as members of our Board of Trustees. Their commitment to TEA's Lone Star Governance Program over the past couple of years is like no other and has changed the dynamics across Donna ISD. We have seen more emphasis placed on improving student outcomes rather than day-to-day operations. This change in mindset was also adopted into our local policy to ensure consistency across the district. The results have been widespread, so much so that Donna became one of the few districts in Texas to be nationally recognized for our focus on improving student outcomes. They were recognized by TEA's Deputy Commissioner for Governance at the 2019 National Forum on Education Policy. So as we observe January as School Board Recognition Month, it is important that we take the time to celebrate our board members and thank them for taking the lead and being at the forefront of improving student achievement. Please join us as we proudly salute them for caring about our children and giving so much to our community. Please give them a round of applause. At this time, we'd like to share with you a short presentation of our school board members in action.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Board of Trustees, this year's theme is Launching the Next Generation, and to coincide with this message, students from each of the campuses prepare their own creations that you see around this room today in your honor. The Today a Reader, Tomorrow a Leader students and campus administration are also showing their appreciation tonight by presenting each of you with tokens of appreciation, including thank you cards, a plaque, and a gift basket. First, we'd like to call Board President Ms. Eva Castillo-Watts to please step forward. Presenting to Ms. Watts are Muñoz Elementary Principal Griselda Alvarez and student Caleb Jeremiah Castillo. Todd Middle School Principal Nelda Calderon and student Nidia Selvera. And Truman Price Elementary Principal Olga L. Cervantes and student Catherine A. Del Toro. We're going to take a real quick photo here. Next, we'd like to call Vice President Dr. Maricela Valdez. Presenting to Dr. Valdez are Rivas School of the Arts Principal Rosalinda Navarro and student Oscar Julian Villarreal. AP Solis Middle School Principal Mary Lou Rodriguez and student Anthony Isaiah Hernandez. And Donna High School Principal Dr. Nancy Castillo and student Angel Dominguez. Next, we ask Secretary Colonel Roberto Perez to join us, presenting to Colonel Perez our Stanky Elementary Principal Veronica Huerta and student Aaron Cardenas. Sauceda Middle School Principal Karina B. Robledo and student Isis De Anda. And 3D Academy Principal Jaime Alvarez and student Roxanne Garza.
Breakfast and lunch. At the council, they have to
We now invite Board Member David de los Rios.
Vamos a mirar.
Presenting to Mr. De Los Rios are Run Elementary Principal Maria G. Inoosa and student Cruz Mireles. Singletary Elementary Principal Christopher Park and student Iker Saucedo. And Salazar Elementary Principal Celine C. Garcia and student Leroy Levine Villarreal. Next, we'd like to ask Board Member Valentin Guerrero to step forward. Presenting to Mr. Guerrero are Garza Elementary Principal Mari Partida and student Xavier Lee Jimenez. Lenore Elementary Principal Karen Nieto and student Athena Castañon. And Veterans Middle School Principal Claudia Guerrero and student Valentino Medina.
It's in damage to be sure it's insured. And then these type of rooms. So, it's at the hospital.
Oh, by the way, did y'all see that rocket over there?
That's where I'm at.
Drop a lot of time and effort.
Now we ask Board Member Dr. Donna Mery to come forward.
From running.
Presenting to Dr. Mery are Cáceres Elementary Principal Sarah Perez and student Miles Chavez. Adame Elementary Principal Alicia Sarmiento and student Jaren Amadeus Aguilar. And Ochoa Elementary Principal Alfonso Sayavedra and student Matthew B. Martinez.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, those will get potatoes.
And now we call Board Member Alicia Reyna to join us. Presenting to Ms. Reyna are Guzman Elementary Principal Emmy de la Garza and student Jesus Manuel Castillo. Salinas Elementary Principal San Juanita Franco and student America Vargas. And Donna North High School Principal Javier Villanueva and student Natalie Gomez.
Fantastic job, fantastic. You are. You're the best.
You're the best, Mr. B. Donna North. Awesome.
So the kids were putting these fireworks inside see the inside those things, and they put it in bunkers and exploded, and it was like 5 feet away. So, see, and they were screaming to the stop. Yeah. Instead of going up, well, no, not coming So they give me more Easter tree and
Wow, look at that. It fits right in, too.
Oh, I was just going to say this. Board members, on behalf of our students and staff, we applaud you for your vision and voice. And as the plaque that you were given reads, we honor you for your dedicated leadership in public education and continued service to the children of this community. We'd like to leave you now with a big thank you video from the district.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank our board members for all their dedication, their service, and support to the children and the community of Donna ISD.
I would like to thank Donna ISD board members for this great opportunity to get my CDO certificate, my CDO license. It's been a great honor to get that from them, and without the support, I don't think I would have been able to accomplish this, and I'm very thankful.
Hi, my name is Victoria Guzman. I'm a parent of a 3-year-old in our new program, our pre-K3 program. I'm extremely grateful for this program. My daughter, she's become more social. She loves coming to school every single day. She loves doing her homework. She has benefited so much from this program. Thank you, board, for bringing this program into our district. I'm extremely grateful. Thank you.
I would like to thank the board for continuing supporting the Mexican American Studies program we have here in Donna. We started off as one of the few schools with Mexican American Studies. We're actually the second one for dual enrollment. And it's a unique class in Texas. The students get to engage in not just, history of history that they would probably find foreign from somewhere else, but their own history, their own cultural history. They learn local history and also the contributions that people like them have made to make this country a great country like it is. And the board is a major part of supporting that program.
Hi, my name is Diana. I would like to thank the board members for making our campus School of the Arts. Because they made our campus School of the Arts, we get to learn piano. And piano, I think, is really fun and very interesting and cool. Because sometimes we get to see other people play, and that is very inspiring to us. So thank you very much, the board members, for making our campus School of the Arts.
Hi, my name is Evelyn Martinez. I'm an 8th grader at AP Solis Middle School. Next year, I plan to attend the new early college high school. I want to be coming on colleges and attend Stanford University. So I would like to thank the board for helping us launch new opportunities and new pathways. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Delilah Durandon, student at Salinas Elementary. I love school because Salinas on our new program's team. I've been to 2 classes and they were amazing. One was robotics, where we build a robot and program it to have its mind of its own. The second one's engineering, where we go on this app named Tinkercad and we design stuff on there so it can make a real-life 3D model. Thank you, board members. Without your support, this could not be possible. Thank you for launching the next generation. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you.
And like our students said, right, they said the best, right? Thank you for everything you do, because without your support, we won't be able to do really much. Our teachers, our staff, our parents, our students, our leaders rely on your support. And again, we couldn't be more luckier to have you as board members. So thank you again for everything you do for our district. Thank you, board members.
At this time, we're going to take a short break to give everyone an opportunity to personally thank you.
Yes.
So
we'll be, but the next item will be, let me just also thank our principals for really I know they're busy and they took the time to work with our students and our parents, and thank you for taking the time. Our parents, thank you. Please don't leave. We have food. We're going to move on to recess. Please join us as we thank our board members and break bread with them. So thank you for staying. We'll move on to recess, the second item.
We have the superintendent's report. Mr. Superintendent?
Thank you, Ms. Watts. Thank you, board members. Thank you again to our students, teachers, staff, parents, and principals for really doing what they did to recognize and thank our board members. Next item we have excuse me, it's district highlights, and I would like to start by first, I don't know if you know, but we have our cross-country team from Donna North High School who actually made it to state, and so we have with us today Mr. V, our principal at Donna North, and also the coaches as well as the students, and I would like to take the opportunity to really acknowledge their effort and thank them for really representing our district really well. So I want to welcome Mr. V here with us.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Members of the board, one good thing about being a principal at Donna North High School is that at some point, okay, you all know the truth, all the time, I am a cheerleader at Donna North High School. And I'm always, looking for opportunities to just get I was telling somebody, all guatoso, because I go out there and, we make it known that we are there to beat our opponent, when we're out there. And I had a great opportunity to follow the path of our cross-country team, our boys, and we went all the way, Round Rock, Texas? Round Rock, Texas for the state competition. And let me tell you, I know we didn't win the competition, but man, we had a lot of support out there. We had our flags, our cheerleaders, and we just had everybody. So it was just an honor, and it was just fun to go out there and support our team, and did a phenomenal job against those, nationally ranked runners. So I want to introduce our athletic coordinator, Jose Maricela, and the head coach for the cross-country team, Basilio Mendoza.
Thank you very much. We're honored to be honored. We met the rule of 80 already. So the magic number is 80. I'm at 82. I'll be 83 by June. So it's been a great journey. This year was super special for me. It's my last cross country season. This is my 9th year here. You guys brought me here 9 years ago. Actually, I was doing pretty fine at where I was at. I was only a mile and a half away from my house at Palmview High School, and we had just gone to state there. And one of our guys got top 10, and one of our other guys won a state title in a shot put. And we're doing fine until they came looking for me, and I'm like, no. And I said, well, make it attractive. They did. I'm like, okay, I'm gone. So 9 years here and 9 years at state. So we're not. I came here at 9. The coach asked me, "Can you win a district title?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't want to win. That's kind of a low bar." So I said, "I'm here to try to win a state title." And 3 years ago, we almost did it. We got second. So we missed it by a little bit. So this young man I have this year, they're real young. They're real young, and sometimes you have to be kind of hardcore with them, and you got to be coach and dad and friend and therapist and psychologist and everything else, trainer. So just to give you an idea what we had to go through to get to where we went, statistically speaking, it's a 0.001% to make it there, because you have over 400 teams or so, and to make it there. So we had to eliminate all the valley teams. So every single school you drive across from Port Isabel all the way to Roma, Donna eliminated every single one. And then, thank you. And then all the Corpus teams, every team in Corpus Christi was also eliminated by us. Every team in San Antonio, with the exception of three, they were eliminated. All the Laredo teams, we had to eliminate them. And anybody far west, which is Del Rio, which is always a powerhouse and everything. And Eagle Pass, my good friend Eagle Pass, we had to eliminate him too. I was like, sorry, coach. So I think the special thing about that was that this year we went to a tie at district, that's kind of like never happens. And we ended up winning with our 6-man, and who was a real young kid, and he did awesome. And so it was great, and I already knew that, being there, I already knew we had our hands full, because we had to go against about 5 nationally ranked teams, and then individually top 3 in the nation guys. So it's like, so when you got in the line, I looked at my kids, they're like, oh my God, puppies. And you got wolves next to them, I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, don't worry about it. You're like, what do you tell them? So I think they did an awesome job, and And again, I think I told Mr. Principal Ortiz that I'm gonna, that that was my last cross-country season. And my wife looks at me, she goes, "Are you sure you're gonna retire?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we didn't run that great," which I'm not used to seeing, watching, but not because we couldn't, but I think they were just struck with the pressure. There's 30,000 people watching. So they were a little, and I told them, don't worry about it. So they're all coming back for another 3 years, which is great, So I'd like to start off with our captain. This young man has been at state 3 years. At one point, he was ranked third in the nation. And, he's got some, a lot of problems with his hips. So he couldn't do what he really wanted to do, but he also holds a state medal second place, and that's Jesus Mora. Jesus Mora. You want to go around? Shake hands. And our other kid, our other runner that couldn't be here, I think he might be the first DISD kid that makes it to state 4 years in a row. So he's got a state since he was a freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year, which is unheard of. Most freshmen will be 80th place. This kid was in the top 10 for 4 years, so which is amazing. That's Jorge Ponce, but he couldn't be here. And then our third man, also most of our kids are really, really shy. They're not shy when they're alone, but they're really shy around people. And our third man, Oscar Salas, also couldn't be here. Great kid, he's a junior, so he's coming back. Only 2 guys from the 10 are not coming back. The rest of them are coming back. So he couldn't be here. So Oscar Salas, and our next man is a freshman. He did a great job. I mean, at 16:30 for a freshman is remarkable. So I'm really happy. Mark Corpus, that's our assistant coach's son. And then we have our next kid. He was really determined to be on the varsity team, and I kind of didn't see it as a freshman. I said, "Mijo, you're gonna have to do a lot of work," and I mean a lot. And he said, "I'm willing to do it." He did it. He did a lot of things on his own. He's self-driven. I see this man at the next level. Just like Jesus Mora has got about 5 offers right now, so we got to decide which one we go with. And Jesus Torres. Jose. I'm sorry, Jose. Jesus. Jose. I'm sorry about Jose. So Jose here looks like a very different. His name is Curly. We nickname him Curly. Curly. Yeah, Curly. Maybe I exaggerate, but I'm not sure. But I think I always tell people he lost 30 pounds, 30 to 40 pounds. Hard worker. And then we have a pair of twins, and one of them didn't make the varsity, but the other one did. Daniel Parra, Gabriel Parra. I'm sorry, Gabriel. There you go, Gabriel. You want to shake hands? Gabriel, he's barely scraping. He says this guy's, if he wants to, he can be a top 10 contender in the state of Texas 6A. Yeah, and then our other, one of the guys that, the one that broke the tie at a district. I think we were the only district team that got a tie in the whole state of Texas, and so this kid. We have nicknames for everybody. So his name is Jesus Venegas. Jesus Venegas. We call him Radio. Jesus. He broke the tie, so he actually made the monitor and a whole bit, and so it basically was like a 60-yard field goal and barely went in. So that's what he did. So, and then our last one, another freshman, also came in a little late in the summer, but he made the varsity traveling squad. Is Benji Rubio. He's real quiet. We've had a lot of those. And then I'd like to also introduce my assistant coach, who's, sometimes to get to a state championship, there's a lot of things you got to do. Like, you can talk about sacrifice and a lot of sacrifice. I couldn't even start. But I think Coach Corpus has done a lot of things that most normal coaches have never done. So I've been coaching 20 years, not that long, but 20 years, and in 20 years, there's only been one guy that can stay up with me, and because I don't sleep. I'm always thinking about winning, and so Coach Corpus is. I think he's ready to be the new head coach. Coach Corpus. It's been a pleasure working with Coach Corpus. We've been taking all these kids all over the country. I'm sure you might have heard maybe, but we've gone all over the country. So thank you very much for everything you've done for us.
Thank you.
Whatever you want.
So if you want to stay at home, and we're going to be working on one more year. You want to start in the back?
That way we're taller.
No, you're not. I'm taller than you. I'm taller than you.
Don't put anybody taller.
Yeah. You can tell.
Stand up.
Oh, you rascal.
Ready to launch?
I'm going to squeeze your hand there. Great job. Great job. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Great job, guys. Proud of you. We're going to see you again next year, right? Going to state again.
Oh, the rule. Rule 80? Yeah, rule 80. He already exceeded that, actually.
Okay.
Rule of 80 means.
See, I'm checking it. I don't know anything myself.
You were a teacher?
We are very proud of our cross-country team, Donna North cross-country team. The boys and the coaches and the leadership and everybody at Donna North is doing a great job to support the team and make us all proud. Next, as part of the district highlights, as you heard one of our students earlier in the video saying about early college high school opening up next school year, we wanted to give you, to our board members, our community, an update where we stand. So with me here, you probably know by now, Ms. Madrano, our new principal at the early college high school.
Hello.
We're very proud of her, and she's been really working hard since we actually hired her, right, as a new principal for our early college high school. So we're gonna just go through a few slides, and I don't know, Ms. Madrano, we can do it together. Yeah. Go ahead. You want to start?
Yeah. So just to introduce, and I'm a little sick, so just bear with me if I start coughing, but just basic questions, what is an early college high school? So it is an innovative program that allows students to begin taking college courses as early as 9th grade. So as long as they're college ready, and by college ready, we mean that they've passed the TSI in both reading and math, then they can get a jump start into taking college courses as early as 9th grade.
And so early college will also give students an opportunity to earn an associate's degree with our partner, our STC, South Texas College. And this program will also offer students an opportunity to be engaged in a very small learning environment. We will be recruiting up to 125 students, so that really allows for that small, personalized learning environment. One of the biggest benefits also with the early college program is that students not only have and benefit from the resources that Donna ISD offers, but also those resources like the library, the labs, the tutorial services from our partner, our STC partner. And so there's a misconception with the target population. A lot of people believe that that in early college is just geared for your straight A students, for your top students, and actually it's not. We have to really target our first generation college goers, our at-risk, and subpopulations of our at-risk students like our English language learners, our special ed population, and really just look at reducing barriers for our first generation college goers and give them this platform to thrive in and really get that jump start. So as I mentioned earlier, we will be looking at recruiting up to 125 students. If there are more than 125 students who apply, because we will have an application process, if there are more than 125 students who apply, then we will go into a weighted lottery system.
I just want to add, I know there are a lot of questions, and for example, one of the top 5 or 3 questions is, how about athletics and how about fine arts? And so the idea is to allow our students to participate in UIL activities such as athletics or fine arts. However, they'll have to do that at their zone campuses. So in other words, if the students is zoned to Donna High, they will have the opportunity to join our athletic programs at Donna High, or if they want to play band, they can also go and play band with our Donna High students there. But they'll have to follow the same process, whatever it is for them to get accepted into the program. But they'll have the same opportunities at our zone campuses. Yep.
Will transportation be provided?
No, at this point, no. At this point, our parents will be responsible for transporting we'll bring them to our Donna High. After school, if they participate, they will have to provide the transportation. The parents.
Unless, Dr. Valdez, you mean transportation to the college?
Well,
then
like
yes.
for example, band usually practices in the morning, so how will they get away?
So if students are practicing, per se, let's say that band, like you said, starts practicing at 7 o'clock in the morning, but they need to be at the early college by 8:20, then transportation would be provided to the campus.
We can always, you want to say
morning.
something?
So with early college, especially the ones that are not located within the school, any extracurricular activities that happen within the school day, students at the early college will not be allowed to utilize those classes during the school day. They will have before and after school, because the schedule with STC varies. So that's going to be working in conjunction with both high schools to see how that works. But they will be allowed, say there's band practice in the morning, they'll be allowed to have band practice, but I know it rolls into first period usually. They will have to be transported back to the early college site or STC site.
Given the challenges that we have right now within our own district, right now, with people that are zoned within the schools without the college, the training and development for UIL students that want to participate, whether it's extracurricular activity, whether it's football, band, fine arts, whatever that is, it still requires time. It's time consuming for the student and the parent. And that's one challenge I think we're going to face here in the next year, simply because we don't have enough training time or development time for those students to do those extracurricular activities, what they want to do. And so the reason I say that is sometimes the community as a whole don't understand that process, and the community thinks that coaching is not well done, or development of fine arts students not being well done because we're not doing the job correctly. Well, it might not be that. It might be that the student chooses education training versus versus the extracurricular activity. So those are choices I think sometimes we have to develop, and so parents need to make sure they are aware of this process. And I don't think we're doing a very good job in doing that, and that's us including here on the board. So you got to make sure we are able to give those kind of community responses, because with that comes obviously phone calls.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Typically, whenever we have school district they have standalone early college high schools, they usually district do not provide transportation for the athletics program. Not all of them, but I said a big number. But however, that's something we'll assess and see. I don't even know how many students will be part of our early college high school and also be playing, let's say, on the football team or being band. I think that's something we will assist. I mean, we're here to work with our students in our community, but at this point, we're not planning. Yes, we're not planning on providing transportation. We'll provide transportation to STC and back from STC. We will make sure that when it comes to the early college, yes, anything that they need based on that will be provided to them. So we'll be providing that. Another thing also, and I know. Ms. Madrano kind of talked a little bit about it, and that's something I've been talking to our parents and our staff about it, is the early college high school, it's not only going to provide for our parents and our students an opportunity to get to have 2 years of college without paying for that, which is pretty much to get an associate degree. That's the goal, for them to get an associate degree and not pay for those 2 years of college, which is a great already advantage, right? However, also the other plus, what people sometimes don't think about it, if I'm 18, graduating from Donna High School, Donna Early College High School, right, with an associate degree, if I go to, let's say, UTRGV, I only need two more years of college, right? So at 20, technically, I can finish with my bachelor's and I can start my career at 20, whereas most other students will start at 22. So I'm going to be getting 2 years head start compared, let's say, to my colleague who are graduating at 22. So 2 years of work, and so let's say I get a bachelor's and my starting salary is around $50,000. That's 50 times 2. That's $100,000 that our students can have a head start compared, again, to the majority of the rest of the students who will graduate with a bachelor's at 22. So that's why this is a really great opportunity for our students and our community, because it's not just saving them 2 years worth of college, but also giving them 2 years to be ahead of their peers and starting their career at a really early age. So that's why we're very excited about it. So
I've got one question. I kind of went through your little PowerPoint already, thinking ahead, but I guess maybe this is more for the CFO and for you, Dr. A.Z. By when can she expect to have a budget? Because she has to plan for next year, so she's going to have to order furniture, supplies, materials, resources, softwares, textbooks. And how is personnel going to be decided as far as who's going to go, or is there going to be a process on who's going to be able to apply? You're going to have to change staffing also.
Yeah, I mean,
What is all that look like?
so you're kind of head UGT student, right? You're head, Dr. Valdez. But that's that's what the plan, and we want to share with you this. But also we have a meeting. We're going to we already talked about some of that furniture and stuff like that and technology needs. So we're already in the planning already on that, and we're going to have the plan is to have a weekly meeting from now until the lunch, and with the people who are, like you said, like Ms. Cancino, Ms. Madrano, the people who are involved, Mr. Rana, curriculum, HR, building. So we're going to be meeting to kind of like really make sure that we have everything is ready to launch our early college high school and really launch it in you know what I mean, like positively and successfully, right?
Because it's a lot of work.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. So.
In a new school, and if you don't start like now.
Yes, it is. And we do have, and I know Ms. Madrano will tell you, because we have a coach or what do you call it, somebody from.
So we are also partnered, or through the early college, we're also partnered up with Educate Texas, and her name is Alma Garcia. So she's also been scheduling monthly meetings.
Yep.
My next meeting is the last week of January. And so she herself has been providing a lot of coaching in regards to the blueprint design and to make sure that we as a district are meeting every item in the checklist.
Yeah.
And like Ms. Medrano, have you looked at like, or have you presented to them, for example, like what kind of staffing you're gonna need? Whether you're gonna need a dean, you're gonna need an assistant, or that kind of staffing, has that been determined yet?
We talked, are you talking about next year or this year?
For next year?
Yeah,
Because,
we
I mean,
talked-
all that has to be done like.
We talked, and we are working on it, Dr. Valdez, and we discussed like what she needs, and we will be, obviously, all those positions will be eventually posted early spring for people to apply, and obviously will be open for anybody to apply, right? Current, our district, but also anybody who wishes to apply. So yes, we'll have all that ready to go.
So what we've created, Ms. Medrano and I, is a working calendar with a backwards design. So starting in June, because that's really when we're going to start seeing kids for the Summer Bridge program, and working backwards to see where they need the assistance. But staffing, budget is number one priority. Curriculum is pretty much
Let me
set.
go back. So you say you're gonna start doing that in June?
No, that's the backwards design. So we started with the backwards design because we're
We'll
going to start
show you,
seeing
man.
kids in June.
But I'm sorry, Doc. These are some of the pathways. Obviously, these pathways will be looked at in collaboration with SDC, and also, nothing is set in stone, because if there is something else, there is a great opportunity for our students, obviously, we'll make it happen. If we need to adjust, again, this is what we propose, and that's what was shared with SDC. These are the 4 Associate of Arts, and Criminal Justice, Teaching, Mathematics, and then Interdisciplinary Studies. So that's the 4 that we talked about. This is, you want to keep going about how does early college work? So give an example of.
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, in order for freshmen or any student to start taking college courses, they need to have passed their TSI in both reading and math. And so one of the things at early college, or one of the items, a mandatory item in the blueprint, is having that summer bridge that Dr. Seves just mentioned a little while ago. And so during that summer bridge, we'll do a lot of college readiness activities, including a tutorial camp for both TSI reading and TSI math, so that students can participate in activities, and engage in learning, and then at the end of the week be able to take the test, and the results are immediate. And so no college courses would be available to freshmen in the fall, but beginning in the spring, they will be able to start taking those college courses. So if you see in this visual that we have here, freshmen can take up to 2 college classes in the spring, and thereafter, every summer, they can take up to 2 during summer session 1 and summer session 2. And they'll be able to just climb up and start accumulating those college credits. They'll be able to take 2 college classes each semester, sophomore year, and then junior and senior year. We have a typo here. They'll be able to take up to 4 college classes in the fall and 4 college classes in the spring, for a total of up to 60 college credit hours. So as I mentioned earlier, again, not necessarily it's just your top A students or your highest ranking 8th graders who can apply. This is, again, we'll be looking at recruitment very specifically for that target population. And so really the kids who we want to apply are those kids who are willing to make that commitment. Kids who are willing to commit to the demands. As Colonel Perez said earlier, they may have to to decide, do they want to be the star quarterback, or do they want to get this benefit from this great opportunity? So any student who's motivated, determined, hardworking, and just at the end really wanting to commit to the demands of this program are the kind of students that we'll be targeting.
So this is some of the important dates, I think what I mentioned earlier. So this is again, not everything is in here, but this is an example of some of the activities, I guess, that would be that we have to be conducting to make sure that we have a successful launch of our early college high school. Okay, go ahead.
And so our commitment in early college high school is not only to get our students graduated with their 26 college credits and their endorsement, but their 26 high school credits, but also get them hopefully get them up to an associate's degree by the time that they're out of high school, really saving them and their parents a lot of time, a lot of money, and hopefully getting them, looking forward to getting that bachelor's degree in two additional years. And so our commitment really directly aligns to our goal, our goal 3, which is to get our kids TSI ready and getting those associate's degrees by the end of high school graduation.
Is there going to be a cap on the number of students that are able to enter?
Yes, so benchmark 1 states that we can, because we want to keep that small learning environment and that smaller student to teacher ratio, then the max amount of students who can be recruited is 125. Okay, maximum every year, and then we can scale up. Yeah.
And Dr. Izzy, do you know by what date you'll be able to give us a final destination?
Yeah, I think
campus will be housed?
I had a conversation with Ms. Schwartz about it, and we're ready to share that information with our board members first before we can go out to our community. But we're prepared to share the plan pretty much.
Do you know by January or?
No, January. Yeah, we have to, because if you notice, we have to go out in February and start having prayer meetings. So we have to, and also the application has to have the location. Everything will be ready to go. The flyers will be going. Ms. Medrano will be leading this work, and she'll be going to the middle schools, also recruiting and having meeting with parents. So we want this again to be very successful, and because it's really a great opportunity for our district and for our community, and we want to make sure again that this thing shines, right, and happens. And this one, I forget what I was to add something else I want to say, but Ms. Medrano and Dr. Seves, and really even everybody has been very involved. And again, I know we're gonna finalize everything this month, but we've been working already. I want you to know we've been working, we've been talking, we've been discussing, we've been looking at possible cost estimates and things like that, right, to get this thing going. But I believe that we hired the right principal.
Absolutely.
And I believe that she's gonna be able to make it happen. We started small with 125 students, and by the way, our parents, more students can apply. And we want to be fair, so it would be a lottery. Usually the lottery is done in public if there's more than 125, to make sure that it's done transparency. Parents will be invited to this lottery. Again, I don't know how many we will have, but let's say we end up with 200 applicants. When we come up with the lottery will be public. Like parents will be able to be part of it. So for the sake of transparency, and it's not because so and so gets it or gets in. It's really open for everybody and anybody.
And I guess maybe just the most important thing that I know is critical, Mrs. Cancino, just work with her, because man, that budget, the sooner she gets it, the sooner she can take care of it.
We already initiating, we already have a
campus code.
So we're already initiating, setting up accounts and estimating
Yes,
costs.
we already got that.
We are in the process of work.
Yeah. It would be truly in collaboration, really, with everybody.
Right.
Yep. You got it. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Next, we have our January Lone Star Governance Monitoring Report. By the way, the Lone Star, what we talked about earlier, is part of our Goal 3, so that we can get earned minutes for that, right, Mr. Perez?
That's right.
Anyway, so the next one is the board, and you should have a copy of it. The folder?
Yellow folder.
Yellow folder, in the yellow folder. Thank you. And I know there were some questions that were asked. So we have some answers, but feel free to ask me anymore. Me and Mr. Rana will try to answer this question, and we have our directors with us. Thank you for staying. Excuse me. So goal 1 is we're looking at the percentage of kindergarten through grade 2 students reading on or above grade level. We want that to increase from a 64 to a 90 by the year 2023. By the way, I know Dr. McMahon is still on Zoom, right? I know that we did our workshop back in late October, and we talked about the possibility of tweaking some of these goals to make sure they are aligned on House Bill 3, so we're working on that as well. So we'll be ready to share that with you very soon. I think she's coming toward the end of the month, I think January 20th, 21st, and then we're gonna meet with her, talk about it, look at the numbers, look what we're gonna come up with, and then share with our board members, and then get your opinion, your input, your feedback before we can tweak it. But for now, we have to follow what we have as far as IE local. So we want our percentage of kindergarten students reading to go from 72 to 90 by year 2023. We want also our percentage of first grade students reading on or above grade level to go from a 55 to a 90, and we want the percentage of second grade students reading on or above grade level to increase from 65 to 90%. Let's look at as a whole, as a goal. You can see that this November we had a 52%. It's pretty much a BOI, pretty much the beginning of a year kind of assessment, I-Station assessment. January, it's really was the data was pulled from the December assessment because we just started the month of January. So it's really, I guess I would consider that like a middle of a year kind of assessment. So we went from a 52% to a 58%. What the goal is to be at 75%. So that's pretty much the overall goal. Last year, we ended the year 65% of our kinder through grade, second grade, I'm sorry, reading on or above grade level was at 65%. Let's look at kindergarten. And kindergarten students reading on or above grade level. And this is like really the pre-K 4, guys. This is really what's exciting about this. This is kind of like we start seeing the fruit of that pre-K 4 program. You see that in the beginning of the year, only 53% of them were reading on grade level. And now there's a huge jump to 63%. And I honestly, I know besides the hard work of our teachers and staff and our CNI and everybody, right, that working really hard, I think really it's really the program also that's really helping. We know that as you go from, you know, like May to August, that summer break, the auxiliaries are dropped. So we started again low, but look, he was a huge double-digit increase within like 3 months. So I think that we are really on track to really like hopefully hit the 80% or come really, really close. As far as first grades reading on or above grade level, unfortunately there was some growth, but it's not as high as we wanted. So we went from a 47 to 52%. Now I want to make sure to remind our board members that I-Station does not give the same assessment in the beginning of the year and the middle of the year. It's a different assessment. So if you started on grade level or above grade level in September, right? You know, you have to at least maintain, right? Because now we're teaching them a new curriculum. I-Station is teaching them at a higher level. So even the fact that get 47%, that means we're maintaining the same percentage of students who are started already on or above grade level. If this number goes up, that means we are actually helping bringing more students to be on or above grade level, despite the fact that the test itself is harder now because they already have 3 months worth of material, I guess, to cover. So again, we have a lot of work to do, but it's always positive to see more and more of our students are reading on or above grade level. For second grade, we started at 56% of our students reading on or above grade level. That number went to 60%. Last year, we ended the year at 64%. But again, it's a different test when we were hoping that number will increase, and we want really that number to be close to 75%. That's really the goal for this second grade. We feel like we are approaching, although we still have some more work to do in second grade and first grade. We want to always celebrate and recognize the campuses that are doing a great job, you know, teaching our students, make sure our students are reading on or above grade level. We want to continue monitoring reading on or on grade level or above grade level. We also want to make sure providing coaching. Our strategists, our coaches, we want to make sure they continue. Our teachers, our principals, and CSs are there trying to help directors. Everybody's working hard to make sure that we're providing everything our teachers need to continue that. We want to make sure also that we're providing more support to our immersion, our development reader, guiding reading protocol and steps and checklists. Some of this stuff are new, and so we want to make sure that we continue supporting and helping that. That's the evidence what we pull. It's really mainly iStation data. Next, I want to talk about the superintendent shall not hire any new campus principal with fewer than 3 years of demonstrated successful experience in campus district leadership role. And we did hire two principals, I guess, two principals one principal or two principals since last time we met, maybe a couple of months ago. And we hired Ms. Madron, who obviously has our new early college high school, and she has more than 3 years experience. And also we hired our new principal at Sauceda, and she also does have more than 3 years worth of experience. So in that case, that's why we said we're meeting, because we don't hire any principal who doesn't have the 3 years or more years as an assistant principal, dean, or assistant principal, I guess. I know there was some question again, Dr. Valdez. I know that we get you some answers, and in the folder, you put them in there, right, sir? Okay. I don't know if you have any other question for me, Mr. Rana, or our directors and strategists.
Just, to me, mainly it's just a comment.
Yes.
I don't look at personnel, I look at numbers.
Yeah.
And to me, the numbers, and also I do want to let you know that I've asked multiple times to make sure that I'm provided last year's scores so that I can compare. I think this is the third time I've asked for that. I haven't gotten it, so I have to go back to last year's to retrieve it to compare it for this year. Because I've asked for it 3 times and I still don't get it. But
Yes, so I can attach both last year presentation and this year presentation
just
together.
just that page so that I can kind of compare.
Yeah, the next board format, then we need to add the slide there. So I can have a separate slides.
No, actually just include the report from last year, because that's what I did. I went to that board and I just pulled it out.
Try to insert the next board, then it throw the whole format. So
We'll have to do another slide for each one of the GPMs.
No, and you don't have to do that. Just give me last year's, and what I did when I compared that, this is why I'm concerned, because I listened to everything Dr. AZ said, and of course, all that makes perfect sense, but that same thing was the same thing for last year. What I'm trying to say is when I looked at the data from last year versus this year, the data is telling us that last year we were at a minus 5% to our target 2023.
Which one?
I can see from here. And currently, right now, based on where we are right now, we are projected at the end of the year to be at a negative 11. So in other words, the gap to getting to that 2023 is getting larger. And that is what's concerning to me.
Yeah, and it is concerning. Of course, it is concerning, but also I think we also have to look at the growth, right? So we may not reach the goal, but if we're in the right direction, I know we're meant to get that goal, but those also goals were, I mean, we want to be at 90% by 2023, right? So, I mean, some of the programs we talked about, like the pre-K 4 and pre-K 3, we're not going to see the benefit of those things until like year 2, 3 years down the road.
I understand. That's why one of my questions was whether the biliteracy model, if it was optional, or is it a district initiative? According to what y'all are telling me, it's optional. And that's concerning to me, because that's telling me that the bilingual director is spending an enormous amount of training our staff on biliteracy, but yet campuses are choosing to opt out whenever they want to. How is that affecting our students that were in a biliteracy and now boom, we're removing it and now you're going all English? What effect is that having on the students?
Those campuses,
go ahead.
Those 5 campuses, they are biliteracy campus. We are not moving any campus out of the five campus. They were started with the biliteracy, they are still biliteracy campus.
So then how come on the notes you said it was optional?
It is optional. Let me answer, I'm sorry. It's optional because no one forced them to sign up. Those 5 campuses chose they chose to sign up. That's why we're saying it was optional. And those 5 campuses selected, the principal, and some of them are gone now, some of the principal are the one who said, I want to be part of it. We didn't force it on anybody. That's why it's optional, Dr. Valdez. It wasn't, as far as I know, it started before I got here, but as far as I understood is,
The 9 campus chose to be early exit campus.
I did not, we didn't ask him to do or add more, or hey, you got to do this. So it was always option since the beginning.
Well, if the trend repeats like last year, currently where we are, our target is supposed to be, the target was 70 in 2019, but the actual was 65. If this trend continues, the projected actual is predicted to be at 64% at the end of this year. So we're getting further and further away, and I guess maybe my concern is, right now, I think it's still plenty of time
Yeah.
for us to do whatever we need to do to make sure, and especially with Dr. Aceves, because she's the one that's at the campuses, of what it is she's gonna do to make sure that changes are made, because I read up some of the things that you all said, and all of that is perfect, but I'm gonna tell you what I think is missing, that we're saying we're monitoring, that we're running reports, that we're doing this and we're doing that. But where is the actual, let me check to make sure it was done? That's the part that's missing, and that's why we see our scores in that manner.
And we are doing two things, like meeting with the principal at campus, and also they are making the presentation of their progress. And they come and make a presentation, and then they look at their scores, their trackers, and all those things. We are monitoring.
Yeah, but then what are they doing with all that? Yeah, they can monitor it, they can look at it, they can review it, but what actions are being taken, and what are y'all doing to make sure that those actions were indeed implemented? Because Mr. Rana, the data is telling us something very different. And I just want to make sure that we make the necessary changes, because if we don't get our students reading on level, we're already putting them at a disadvantage for the rest of the high school, well, the rest of the.
I agree. I know we have, I'm sorry, Dr. Valdez. We have a literacy issue here in our district, and this is nothing new. I mean, if you look at our for years, we've been always behind the state. For years, I mean, you can go back 2, 3, 5, I don't know how many years. It's always been behind. And that's one of the reasons, for the first time in as far as I know, right, that we are developing a literacy plan. The team here and a lot of our school personnel have been involved in creating a literacy plan that I don't even think, you've been here longer than I am. Did we ever have a literacy plan here?
Yeah. We are developing the literacy plan. It's in the final stages. That will dictate a lot of and resolve and answer a lot of literacy gaps we have in our system, and the literacy plan will tell you, okay, exactly what we need to happen in pre-K, kinder, first, second grade, what should be the dear time, but all the components are being addressed in the literacy plan. In our next board meeting, that will be under highlight our district literacy plan we are going to present to you.
And I'm just saying, because we've got one school, AP Solis. That school is doing phenomenal, because they have procedures in place, accountability, monitoring, interventions. They have the perfect recipe for a successful school. If that school is being successful, then so should the rest of them, if we're doing the things that we need to be successful in the school.
Yes, no, absolutely. We want our students to be successful.
Because they have students, they have lab students too, they have at-risk students too, they have the same population, but they're being very successful.
I think, Dr. Valdez, you bring in a good point. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think also we have so many things going on. Like, we have a lot of, for example, we did a lot of changes in leadership. You know what I mean? Like, we have a lot of new principals in elementary. Some of them, we're working with them. So it's a lot of things we're doing. There is not one thing, and Ms. Rodriguez and her team are doing a phenomenal job. But also, Ms. Rodriguez has been there for many years, and she's a very experienced and talented. We want every principal to be like that. We want every staff member to be like staff member at Solis. But it doesn't happen overnight. That takes a village, all of us coming together to help make sure that every campus in Donna ISD is like Solis. that's ultimately the goal, absolutely. We want every campus to look like that.
Correct. And you can change personnel, that's gonna happen, you're gonna lose people, but the point that I'm trying to make is even if personnel is being changed, if your procedures, your expectations, your communication, your follow-through, your accountability is the same, then a new person comes in and they have to fly with those procedures that are already established.
Yeah.
So they should be able to transition into that position smoothly, and I'm not sure that that is fully established from the top going down. I mean, that's just my observations based on looking at the group, but that's all. I don't have any other questions.
Sure.
I mean, what I hear Dr. Valdez raising is, are we doing enough different, even from last year, to land us in a different place? And this board, we want y'all to be bold. We want you to be fierce in the changes that have to be made to so that we can actually see the increase.
Right.
Because that's what I hear you say, Dr. Valdez, is that, we might see some incremental growth, but is it enough different? Is it bold enough changes? And we know you all have been making changes. We want you to know, be bold in the changes, because we're in with you all. And are the changes bold enough for us to make up the difference, to us to get to 70 or 80%?
That is, you hit it right on the money. Exactly.
Well, with those approaches, there's one thing that I want to just, as Dr. Valdez is talking about the quantitative data, I like to look at it from a qualitative perspective, which means are we tied to one area, for example, iStation? Is iStation the only tool that we have available in our district? And I asked that question last time when we met on the 28th of October, and you said, your response was TA approved? Well, okay, just because TA approves something does not mean it's valid for every district. There's tools outside in our marketplace that are much better than iStation. As a matter of fact, I know that TA has done some research themselves that the iStation has some value and has not had the success they thought it did.
Right.
And because of those things, and the reason I share that with you guys is, and the boldness that Ms. Reyna is talking about is, are there other systems that I'm just talking about our principals, our teachers that have used and applied in the past that can bring to the table to bear and have those increases that we're talking about. Yeah, I mean, is it a problem that we have in our district in reading? Well, we can go back years. When I was coming through high school, did we have problems back then? Absolutely.
They had no data back then.
But but we had success. I mean, we had success. How we had success, I don't know. But the data was not being collected. But I mean, we didn't have all those iStations. We didn't have all these nifty tools to tell us the process, the progress a student is making, right? So now, because of those data, what is it that we want to measure effectively with the tools that we don't have current? If iStation is not a tool for you, then let's be bold. Let's do something different. Just because we have iStation and we feel comfortable with it, well, maybe it's not the tool for Donna. You know what I mean?
Yes, to answer your question, sir, we are piloting a couple of programs so that we can see the first program we are piloting for elementary, two elementary schools. We are reading, imagine reading, just like we imagine math. We are piloting two campuses, Stanley Elementary and Price Elementary, imagine learning. So that's what we are going to pilot for 2 grade level, 4th and 5th grade, to explore more possibilities and see that can address our needs. That's one program we are piloting into campus. We are also piloting mind play and other 3 campuses. We are going to look at the Casinas Elementary and other 2 Salinas Elementary and other campuses. So we want to see how mind play is really can assist us in the future. And then we are also looking at the Achieve 3000s for the high school. It's already we saw some success last year. We want to keep implementing Achieve 3000. That is remind me the third program. We want to get from TEA.
It's the TEA. It's Teach Like a Champion.
Teach Like a Champion.
They develop a reading curriculum, and they want to pilot it.
Their pilot is at Society Middle School. So we are we are going in that direction, exploring more possibility, so see which can address our needs.
So for us as a board, you all, we can't, this is good timing as we move into adopting new board goals, because then we know we can expect from them an analysis on, should we use a different assessment tool to determine reading?
Yeah.
And are we also, I know that we have iStation, and I'm gonna use this as an example. As a teacher, are we training our teachers as how we want them to implement iStation, and what was the other one that you mentioned? MindPlay. Okay, because we don't want the teachers to say, because, I mean, they say, okay, our kids have to do 1 hour or 2 hours a week on iStation and MindPlay. Okay, so the teachers walk over, okay, kids, we're going to the lab. Okay, there you go, sit down, and you've got to do an hour. And are they being monitored? Are they being are the kids being directed as to what we're expecting and what results?
Our process itself, we train our dean, CS, and principal. We train in the month of August, all the principal, CS, and then the dean. And we are open for the campuses to bring our reading language art department or bilingual education department to go to the campus and provide the training on the iStation hall. But the principal are capable of doing the professional learning.
See, and I think that's the part that's missing, Mr. Rana.
Yeah.
And not just for that particular example, but in general in everything that I'm discussing.
Right.
They're getting the training, the principals going in there, checking for the implementation day in and day out.
That's right.
I think those are the parts that are missing in our district. And Dr. Az,
Yes, ma'am.
I'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna ask any questions because I know y'all are tired and y'all need to go home.
No, it's fine.
But I just do wanna say, this board completely empowers you to do whatever
Thank you,
you
ma'am.
have to do.
Thank you.
To make sure that those reading levels go up by the end of the year.
Thank you.
Because we owe that to our children.
Of course, no, thank you. And
We're on record now.
Well, you know that it goes back to when we go visit different schools, as I did last year. I know Manor was one of those, and reading was one of the discussions they had.
Yeah.
Well, in Manor, they went from a D within months, from a D to a B status, using a different system.
Right.
And the reason I say that, you know, Mind Station was one, or Mind Game, I think was one of those. Mind Play.
Mind
Mind
games.
games, yeah. I'll play with my own mind. So no, anyway, so they showed. Well, I was the only one that went, by the way, to that trip. And so they gave us a broad perspective of how their improvement, their systems. And again, it goes back to coming back to you guys, and I'll take the blame for that, for not coming back and discussing what I've learned and just put on the table so you guys can dissect it. Because sometimes we get that privilege, right, to go visit other schools, and when they share information that is working for them, and that's one of the things, that's why I said what I said, because Manor, I know, had issues last year. I think now they changed their board, and their scores are coming back down because of whatever reason. But anyway,
Yeah.
I just wanted to show that.
And yes, thank you for sharing, sir. But yeah, we're actually going to pilot that program. Yep. Thank you, that's it for me.
I make the motion to approve,
Accept.
to accept the report as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Valdez, second by Dr. Mery. Mr. Rios?
In favor.
In favor.
In favor, motion passes.
Yeah. Next, we have, I think you have in your packet a copy of Statement of Impact of Immersion, Inc., which is a charter school that thinking about opening up in Donna. So if we just, we need a motion, Ms. Watts, if you don't, to just to acknowledge it.
What's your recommendation?
It's just, we have to just acknowledge.
Acknowledge that we receive it, we don't have to do anything.
I move.
Second.
In favor?
Favor. Motion made by Colonel Perez, second by Ms. Reyna.
Favor.
In favor.
In favor.
Okay. Thank you. Next, we will be discussing under academic services the presentation of the Texas Academic Performance Report, the taper for the 2018-2019 school year. Mr. Rana?
Good evening, board. It's my honor, my pleasure. Before I even start, I want to recognize the board recognized month that we are so blessed, so fortunate to have you all supporting us, unbounding, and then like outstanding directions, and then providing the support you guys are providing to us. My department and all of us, we are very thankful the direction you guys provide. It really made me very excited when you ask question. Really, we love it. So I want you to know that when you ask question, it's never a bother. It's always a privilege to give you the answer, the question you always give to us. And those questions give us more direction when we provide the answer. And then we put our head together, so that is okay. This is what it's like a total commitment from all of us. So it's an honor and privilege to have such an amazing board who is giving us very good directions and support. Thank you very much. This is a tape report. There's a few of the requirements we need to do this thing. If you recall last year at studying at the same place, we were C district. And if we look at this year, we are a B district. And I promised last year, I said, just watch, we will be a B district next year. And here we are a B district. So the first slide shows us the accountability. The whole tape report, it does say Texas academics report, but it has actually 3 sections. The first section is we look at the academic area. The second section we look at the HR area. The third is a business area. So I'm going to go through all these 3 areas, and we have expert in sitting right in front of me. If I go wrong, and they can always chime in. Our 2019 accountability rating is B. We have a 2019 special education determination status. We need assistance. And on the right hand side, if you look at that, this report, tape report, if I can go back, accountability, there were 3 big reports: accountability report, tape report, and PBMAS. Now we call RDA. In this tape report, they are combining all 3: accountability, tape report, and then the PBMAS, now we call result-driven accountability. So therefore, you will see the combination of these 3 reports. So we see the special education need assistance. They are, if you look on the right-hand side, there's the indicator 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Those are the indicators. They are about the students. They are in the classroom, how much the streamlining, how many students they are spending actual time with the actual teacher, not pulling them out. So 9, 10, 11, and 12, 13 are more talking about the outside school suspension, expulsion, and more than 10 days or more than 10 days or less than 10 days. So these are the things, they are not more academic, but they are more managerial. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So because of this thing, we need assistance, which is a performance level 1. If you look at here, this is a performance level 1 is a need requirement and need assistance. And then the need intervention and need substantial intervention. So we are at performance level 1 that we need to correct 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, which is more managerial type of thing that we are already working on this, how we can correct those indicators. So this report has in 2 fashion. The one is a PDF form, other is an online, dynamic online. So where as the data available, they keep inserting online dynamic the tape report, and there is a one, just the PDF report, which is the all public sees. And of course, from the tape report, we get the district tape report, every campus get the tape report, and then from there, they need to really look at the tape report and and revise their CIP. Each campus periodically measure progress toward its performance objective. That's another thing. Each report tell us the accreditations of the campus. As this report says, our DISD is accredited by Texas Education Agency. Of course, this is a year prior. You see the C there. It was our last year accountability, and then the new as we excuse me. As you move forward, so you will see the next year you will see the B and the next year accreditation. We also need to notify to the board that if we have any F campus in our district, and Garza Elementary is a F campus in our district, and by looking at their comprehensive score, like we just took, and I know that we need to share the comprehensive data with you all. Dr. Isa is probably going to either email the comprehensive data tonight or tomorrow, and we will share with you the data from the comprehensive. As I'm looking at the Garza Elementary, they have in some areas they have a 1-digit growth, in some area they have a 2-digit growth. So the Garza Elementary, though they are F campus, but because of the change we were talking about, having the new experienced principal there, and assisting all our directors and the teachers, the students, all working very hard, and we start seeing the campus is moving toward the right direction. Are we there yet? No, we are not there yet. But you can see when we share the data with you all that this campus is moving forward from going from F. Our goal is, I just met with the PSP, the people we don't used to call PSP, but they are our technical support, that our vision is not going from F to the next level D or C. Our goal is going from F to B. That's the least we are expecting. So we are working very diligently, aggressively, all team together to get to that level from F to B, at least B. So this is a work in progress. TIP report also dictate that we need to share with the board the distinction we had in our district, and we have total 16 distinction. As you see, the AP Solis Middle School, they have the 5, and Donna High, Donna North, they have 2, and so forth. Campus performance objective, and then what are the objectives so we can improve our CIP and DIP. Now I'm going to share with you the star performance, the first area in the TIP report. Just to highlight that we have a 3rd to 10th grade and 11th grade US history, we have a total 22 assessment that our students take, 3rd grade 2, 4th grade 3, and so forth. All right. So now what I'm going to present here, I'm going to present the star performance, and I'm going to go start from the bigger picture and then come to the smaller picture. So we'll start with the all grade ELA reading at approaches level. You could see, like from last year to this year, we improved 1%, and if I can go like the first column, you see is the state, second 2 bar are region, the last 2 bar are Donna ISD. So we saw like the 74 to 75 state, 72 to 74 region, and Donna ISD 60 to 61. We have an increase in reading at approaches level. And then we saw the all grade ELA reading at MIS level, we have 1% increase, and then we stayed the same in the master in the area of reading. The next is math. You see the Donna ISD had experienced like a 1% decrease, but it's still very comparable. You see 80, 80, 80, 80, and 79. Though we experienced decline, but this is still very comparable to the state and region. And we are working very hard not to experience this decline what we have experienced this year. Meets level, as you see, it's very comparable with the state and region, and master level, we need to, this is a mixed thing. We need to work hard to get to the 30, not even 17, get to the level of 30. This is the writing. Very happy to see this score. We have been seeing a lot of years, many years, score in writing was 50, 50, 50, 50. Finally, this year we saw the score in 60. This is not our goal, but we start seeing getting away from 50 to getting to the 60s now. So you see, last year Donna ISD in both 4th and 7th grade was 56. Now we are 63 in approaches, 31 in needs, and 10 in master level. So you could see the state just increased 2%, but Donna ISD increased 7%. So that's a big highlight for the writing in the area of writing. Whatever we are doing, we need to keep helping and keep providing professional development, keep providing the needs, and keep meeting the needs of our students. In the area of science, we saw 76 and 76 last year. This year we stayed the same, and science has 3 tests: bio, 5th grade science, and 8th grade. And we saw the increase, though we were very like same last, but in meets we went from 40 to 43%, very comparable with the state and region, and then move in the master from 13 to 14%. If we look at the social study, you look at the, again, very comparable as I showed you in the area of math, like a 78. But here not only we have the comparable. Look at the state is 78. 81. 78, Donna was 80, but 81 and 80, we are still very comparable at the top, neck to neck with the region and state. And in the area of the meets, we experience some decline, and the decline is because of the mainly the 8th grade social studies score. Not the US history, it's mainly the 8th grade social study. And there was some personnel issue, all those things, so we don't have the barrier anymore. So we have full-fledged teacher teaching the social study. And then we look at the master, 25-30, 25 to 23, and we will not repeat this backward thinking, God willing, next year. This is all grade, all subject. We look at the approaches. We moved all grade, all subject 1%, and we stayed the same in meets and stayed the same in master level. So this is overall presenting this thing. If you would like to talk to any certain grade level, I can do, but this is the overall. So because this is a long presentation, I don't want to go slide by slide. So I just showed you if there are any question, I can entertain, or any grade level you would like to see. School progress. So we're moving on to school progress. This is a domain 2, is school progress. And then if we look at the domain 2, school progress, first the 3 bars are state, the next 3 bar region 1 and Donna ISD. We look at the all grade both subjects 64, and then the all grade ELA reading 64, and all math 65. If we look at the state, they are in 60s and we were in 60s. It's not like we are very different than the state. I'm not making excuse, but it's like a very comparable data as we compare to the state or the region. So this is our school progress. Any question? This is our star performance data. And any question, in your package, I inserted the answer of those questions was yes. So I can entertain any question anytime you guys want. Then moving on to the number 5, attendance and graduation dropout rate. This is something we need. This is a continuous effort. Dropout rate and then the graduation rate.
Our goal is, of course, our graduating our students within 4 years. We don't want to go 5 years or 6 years. Our goal is graduating our students in 4 years. The first is the annual dropout rate. How do they calculate? This is the formula is given to you. The student, they are dropouts 7th and 8th grade divided by total students. They are in 7th and 8th grade, and the number you get is a dropout rate. And this is a dropout rate from our district 7th to 8th grade. We actually, we met today from 8 to 12:30 in a CNA training room, and we are putting the CNA together, comprehensive need assessment. And just want to highlight, comprehensive need assessment was never done the fashion, the way we are putting the CNA together this year. And that's what Dr. Izai was mentioning here. A lot of things are happening, they were not in place before. The CNA, the process was there, but now we are looking, today we just spent all day just looking at the data. The directors knew the data, but we still went over all the data. We went over several reports. We started with the accountability report, we look at the RDA report, we look at the STAR score, look at all the reports. We understood the data. Now is the next step, we have a 4 team, and then we are going to, each team is going to develop their area. So this is something that is also will help us in our strategic plan, the district Donna IAS strategic plan, and this is the CNA will help us in that area too. You see, grade 7th to 8th grade, this is what we need to see. We need to see the dropout rate is declining. But we did not see this thing in the high school 9th to 12th grade. Our dropout rate increase, and then we need to put some strategies together that we can work on the dropout rate. We don't want students, they come to Donna ISD and they drop. Talking to my team, that we have only 15 students. It never happened before that they drop out. So the data, but again, this data is not last year's 17-18 data, what I'm presenting today. So you will see this efforts maybe in a year and 2 years, all those efforts are happening right now. Graduation rate, as I mentioned, our goal is the 4-year 4-year graduation. Donna IAS is 87.3, and the state is 90. And our 5-year is higher than our 4-year, but our goal is not going 5-year, our goal is 4-year, which is that's what federal government see, 4-year. The students come in freshman, they go senior, they graduate. There is no 5-year graduation, but we have a 5-year, 6-year. And the state take the what of the best, so the 5-year was best, but state, federal only look at the 4-year. So this was our graduation rate and dropout rate. Now we are looking at CCMR. I have been presenting CCMR data. That's where we are. The CCMR, the first is the state, the second is 3 columns are region, and then ISD. If you look at the state, 65.5, Donna IAS is 62.5, very comparable. And we look at the college ready 50, and then 50, 35.7. Now we are going to have early college. This is going to assist us to lift this score up when we are going to see our students are college ready. They are ready to take the TSI, ACT, SAT, AP classes, dual classes. So that number will go up as we are opening early college. And then the green column is our the career and military ready. We see the state is 28.7. Donna is 44.8.
Yeah, that one like stood out. That one was phenomenal.
And then we are doing the CTE certificate, all the industrial certification, all those things. The data, the next year you will see the lot of industrial certification we are making our students. But this data is only the senior data. So we are working with a junior and freshman and sophomore, but they will not show on the data until they are the senior. High school graduation graduate enrollment. The student, they are enrolled in university or 2-year college, and their GPA, that's what this slide is showing. And this is our goal 3 on our AE local. District student information, Class size, as you could see, we are very comparable with the state. Our class size in elementary, they're very comparable to the state. We don't have any red flag there. We can see, our class size are high, and thank you very much for keeping this class size low for our teacher and for our students, so we can reach one-to-one basis. Class size for secondary, we just saw one area for language. It's like a Spanish 1, Spanish 2, that's a high. Other than that, we are very comparable, and again, thank you very much for allowing us to keep the class sizes in a very good way. Staff information, this is more HR area now, this is like a staff information, professional staff, teacher, professional sports, campus administration, central administration, educational aid, and auxiliary staff. And you can see we are, the orange bar is Donna, yellow bar is state. You could see in each area, the both professional and teacher, we are below state. And professional sport, a little bit difference. Campus administration below, central office below, educational aid very competitive, auxiliary we have a little bit higher staff ratio than the state. Teacher information, this is our beginning teacher, 1 through 5 year experienced teacher, and we have more 1 through 5 year experienced teacher. And we want our teacher come with us, they get the training from us, stay with us and benefit our teacher. And that's where we need to really, in conjunction with the HR, we need to develop some strategies where we can retain our teacher. On the left hand side of the slide, you see our more teachers are bachelors, and the state has more teacher in master, and we also need to develop strategies where we can recruit master teachers and retain them in our Donna ISD. And this is every year of experience of campus leadership, and you could see our principal, our leadership, they are with us. As you could state, average low, but Donna ISD is higher. Salaries, beginning teacher, we are very competitive, but as we go to the 1 through 5 year, 6 to 10 year, we tend to start lowering than the state. That's more HR things, so we need to develop some strategies where we can. Remember the first slide was 1 through 5 year, the teacher, we have higher. We need to work on retaining those teachers, providing them competitive salary in the more years. Average actual salaries, teachers, like a 54 state and 50. This is slide for you. You ask me question if you have any questions. Central office, all the pay you have a compare Donna ISD and state. Instructional staff, and we are very competitive with the state also. Turnover rate, state is higher than Donna ISD. We need to keep working on this one, but we need to retain our experienced teacher. Financial report, this is for more business area, and in this area these tables, they are all the table, and then the next table, that the table you see first, they are the derived from those tables. So the first is the operational revenue source, and then the second slide is our expenditure. Then you see expenditure by program, and then you see local tax collection, and then the all funds revenue, all funds total expenditure, and this is our fund balance. We misconsider myself with that. There is a gap. You see 16-17, there is no bar because the financial report was not given, or it was not available. So you see the year of that gap. This is a general fund unassigned funds balance, and this is a student's history that we have expenditure per students. So we are line student 10-year study. A report on violent incident, that's a major violent, and we report to TA if there is no incident that is like a truly in that area that we need to report. Is there any question? I went through a little bit faster because I have given you the slides and all those things. So if they have any question, I can entertain. This is very long, required presentation. I tried to give you the glimpse and the highlight as best as I could. Is there any question I can entertain?
No, we're good.
I make a motion to, there's no question.
That's the report.
We don't need to approve this one?
Yeah, that's the report.
Just a presentation to the board.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Lance. Thank you. Next, we have consent agenda. Board members, is there any discussion or clarification on the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion made by Mr. Rios, second by Dr. Valdez. Dr. Mery?
Favor.
Mr. Guerrero?
Favor.
Favor.
In favor.
In favor, motion passes. Next, we have the governance part, and the first one is conservative monthly report for November.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Asais. Tonight, I'm reporting on the month of November, and the first section is your financial accountability. The only area there that we've got slightly off track is your centralized purchasing. We still need to hire a buyer. I understand you had openings, and I believe 10 people applied, but none of them had much experience, so I think that position's going to be reposted again to look for somebody with experience so that we don't have any learning on the job. I heard that loud and clear last time. Then one of the areas you did really well this past year in adding dollars to your fund balance, and I looked at your strategic plan. You've added those dollar amounts into your strategic plan. But one of the things that I need for you to start concentrating on, and I've put it under the business section or financial accountability, which is your health insurance. I know it doesn't fall in there, but because it has to deal with money, I put it in there. But you do need to start getting reports on that. I don't know how well you're doing on your health plan, and we need to get a handle on it sooner, because every year we're discussing health insurance in July and August. And I haven't seen any reports come through. I don't know how that health plan. Do you want to elaborate?
I just wanted to say that I met today with Lou Arias, who's our consultant from Gallagher, and the plan is to start presenting in February. The reason why he didn't do it, because our plan started in October, and he wanted to wait at least to have a couple months worth of material, I guess, or data, so he can gather that, analyze that, and then share with our board members. But I met with him just today, and he's coming for the next board meeting to share with our board members the status on that.
Well, that would be great. Also, somehow that committee needs to come together sooner, because work does need to start going on that. Too much money is being funneled through that plan. That's one of those areas. The governance area, you're pretty much on track as far as governance is concerned. I had you off as slightly off track on the strategic plan, and the superintendent did share with me, and the reason I had it off is because dollar amounts hadn't been put to the fiscal year. You have done that, so in the next report, which will be January's, that will come off. You should be on track. You've put dollar amounts to it, and I realize you were waiting for the end of the year audit to know how much money is available to put into that. So that's being done. And then the only other thing that I would mention is that it's still happening. Staff is coming to board members, and they are, I need for you to redirect the staff and tell them to go directly to their supervisors and to the superintendent instead of trying to take care of the situation for them, as far as the governance is concerned. I'm dealing with Mr. Rana on the 5 campuses, and I get reports from him, but he is complying, and they are complying with the progress reports that have to be sent into DEA, so I am overseeing all of that. He stays pretty much on top of that, so that he's doing a really good job on that. Everything else looks fine. Any questions?
Yeah, there's only one thing that we missed, and we discussed this on Friday.
The tracking.
Right, the tracking piece for our two-way communication advocacy program that we started in November, that we did not put in our numbers. That was one item that we didn't miss.
Yes,
It
we'll be
was an hour and a
discussing that
half,
one
and
on the
so-
next.
Right.
on the next.
So we'll make this up, I guess, for the next session,
Right.
but
I don't think we had it for this report.
no, we did not. We should have, but we didn't.
So we'll
right.
catch up.
It's next item is.
Yeah. But you're above the 50%. So you're doing well.
Thank you.
Sure.
Next, Long-Term Governance Board Tracking Report, December 2019, Colonel Perez.
Yeah, that was something that we met, Ms. Ramirez and I met Friday along with the superintendent to discuss, was a little small issue and one of the numbers, the way it was calculated, we figured it out, I guess, together, and really nothing really changed. We stayed at 71% average for the last quarter. November, we're a little down, but nonetheless, overall, we're still at 71%. So we did really well as a board, focusing on students. So we're doing extremely well, as she just alluded to. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Colonel Perez.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I jump in on something with that real quick?
Sure.
TEA has gone through some revisions of the time tracking analysis, and they are now awarding credit, I guess you would call it, to areas that typically refer to how you implement Lone Star governance that are not necessarily student outcome goal related. So, for example, time spent discussing your board self-evaluation now will count into your proposed minutes. And I have a new time tracker sheet for you. And so you and I will get together and go over that, and we will start using that this month.
Well, it goes back to the advocacy as well. I mean, Dr. Ms. Ramirez, myself, and Superintendent discussed this, now that you're talking about that, is how is that going to count? Right now, the way it's being structured, it counts against us for having a two-way communication with our community. And that was one of the reasons that we didn't really use it. We did, but we didn't. So it goes back to, if we're going to have a two-way communication with our community, and doing an advocacy piece as per the time tracker, then how is that going to be done? It's not, doesn't show anywhere where that counts for us, it counts against us. As it currently stands.
They've made some changes. You'll see in the time tracker, you'll still see time spent focused on student outcome goals.
Right.
Student outcome goals, but you'll also see another line item, time spent implementing Lone Star governance practices. And you will also be getting very soon a revised Lone Star governance manual that looks very, very different from what you have been used to be seeing.
Okay.
But you and I will go over that together, and we'll start calculating that using that.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Colonel Perez. Next, we have the executive session. The time is 8:47. Executive session is authorized with the Texas Government Code sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.073, 551.074, 551.075, 551.076, 551.082, 551.083, and 551.084. We'll be going into executive session. 9:25, we're back to open session to take possible action on matters discussed in executive session. A, discussion and possible action to approve superintendent's recommendation of personnel, approval of recommendations for professionals to include hiring and termination recommendations. Is there a motion?
Make the motion?
Motion made by Dr. Valdez.
Second.
Second by Mr. De Los Rios. Dr. Mery?
Favor. In favor.
Favor.
Yes.
In favor, motion passes. Number two, discussion and possible action, discussion and possible action to approve pending or complicated litigation, settlement matters, and/or matters where the professional day under state board requires private consultation with the school attorney. No action. Need to adjourn?
Make the motion to adjourn.
Second. Motion made by Mr. De Los Rios, second by Dr. Valdez. Dr. Mery?
Favor. In favor.
Favor. Favor.
In favor. Motion passes. Meeting adjourned.
Against.
9:26.
No nos quiero mirar hasta el mes que entra, por favor.
Well, stay in